Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, and I've had a comment about my shirt, so I'm going to show you this in full. What do we think of this then? It's a beauty. It's a beauty, isn't it? Anyway, come 1st of September, minimum unit pricing in Scotland is increasing by 30%. This was announced back in the budget. They were told not to do it, said it would be very, very damaging and would actually harm the poorer members of society more than the wealthier. Again, you've got to punish people for being poor, seems to be the SNP's mantra. Certainly everything they do seems to be that way, from low emission zones, which only really affect people who can't afford to upgrade cars, the poor, to minimum unit pricing, which again, as a percentage of income, affects the poor much worse than the more wealthy. And so therefore, it seems to be that the SNP have a loathing, I think, for poor people. How dare they be poor? Look at them. They should stop being poor immediately. Weird people, the SNP. Anyway, they're increasing this minimum unit price 30%, even though there's no evidence to show that it works. And indeed, since it was introduced, deaths by alcohol abuse have actually increased. What's also increased, of course, is the use of recreational substances, shall we say. Got to claim that YouTube doesn't like certain words. But, the corner boys are doing very well out of this because it's cheaper just to go up the road and get something that will take you out of your mind for a lot less than it costs for a good bottle of wine or scotch or something. So that's what's happened. Not only have alcohol deaths increased, but the use of other more entertaining forms of substance have also increased. What a great result. And when faced with this, you'd think that any rational government would say, yeah, that maybe wasn't a good idea. Maybe we shouldn't do it. Maybe we should reverse it and not extend what's going on. Oh no, that's a rational, intelligent decision. We're dealing with the SNP, where rational and intelligent do not exist together. I'm sorry, my dog's just come up to see me. Come here. I'm just going to come here for those who haven't seen him. Here he is. Say hello, son. This is Barnsley. He's my best mate, ain't you? Anyway, down you go. Daddy's busy. Anyway, rational. No, there's no rationing behind it. And so they're bringing this in regardless of the evidence. And that's another thing. Evidence. There's been over 40 studies. And we're just talking here about some bloke working it out in his head off the back of an envelope. We're talking full academic studies have been done on this matter about minimum unit pricing. 40 of them. And how many have come back and said, yes, it definitely works? None. Not one. In fact, of the 40, 38 of them have said it does not work, it makes matters worse, or at best, it is ineffective. It has no positive effect. 2 were more encouraging, shall we say, for those who want to impose this minimum unit price. One of them, though, said further study is required, it may have a very small effect. And the other one said, there's some evidence to believe that if extended and enforced and put up to a sufficiently high level, then it may, for those not addicted to alcohol, have an effect. And again, both of these are may, not wills. So there's no guarantee. And at best, the effects will be small. And so why do they persist? They're not raising any money from it because the minimum unit price just gets added to the price of alcohol. So Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Asda, whatever, just add it to the cost. It's not a tax. It doesn't go to the government. It just goes into the coffers of Asda and Tesco and Sainsbury's and whatever. The supermarkets make a bigger profit. And the tax from that profit, of course, goes to the UK government. So they're not raising money out of this. They're harming the poorer in society who can least afford it. They're, for some reason, in the mistaken belief it's going to help the situation, yet we've proven that it doesn't. And they're generally just spreading more poverty, because alcoholics or people who are dependent are still going to buy the drink regardless of the price, which means less money to feed their children. If ever there is a bad policy, it is this. Strangely, and as an aside, it's the policy that Nicola Sturgeon says she's one of those policies she's the most proud of. Yes, Nicola, spreading poverty, harming children, increasing misery. Yes, I can see why you'd be proud of that. That is very much right up your boulevard, isn't it? And so, come the 1st of September, the misery extends. It's going to be explained that it's necessary. The SNP government are going to explain it's necessary. However, they've been asked several times why. Can the evidence for this be published? Please publish all the evidence you have that shows that the extension of this and the increase in this is a necessary thing. Can you show the effectiveness of it? You've obviously done full details of it. And the SNP have refused point blank at every single stage to publish the contents and the minutes of meetings or documents. They've said they have done studies. They will refuse to publish the studies. I actually, therefore, will conclude that there have been no studies, that there's been no discussions, that this has just been imposed simply by people who are miserable. They want misery. They don't want people to be able to go and enjoy a drink of an evening. You know, I've had a hard day at work. I just fancy a large gin and tonic. Oh no, you can't have one of that, because that may bring you pleasure. And the one thing the SNP cannot abide is the thought of someone, anyone, anywhere, having just one momentary relief, one momentary second of pleasure, because they want to impose misery on all and blame Westminster and say, if only we were independent, life would be better. Look how much better life is. Look how shit life is under British rule. Let's go the other way. It's not the British, it's not Westminster that's imposing this. They are absolutely miserable bastards, aren't they? And why, if they're so correct in this, won't they publish? They've refused point blank several times. Freedom of information, it costs too much to release. They're bouncing it and bouncing it. And it's just never, ever going to come out. They did release a notification some time ago, just after the election, heavily redacted for claims of legal and commercial reasons. What commercial reasons? The SNP don't sell booze. Shady, secretive, sleek it. Once again, the people of Scotland screwed by the SNP, and the SNP haven't got the balls to say why they're doing it. And we know why they're doing it. Like I said, they're miserable bastards. Anyway, enjoy your imposed dry state, which is ultimately the aim, of course, because all the new Scots, you know, they don't take alcohol, all the new ones, do they? So if they can get rid of alcohol in Scotland, all the better for the big replacement. And that's what it's all about, I think. Anyway, remember, there's an election coming up in 2026. Don't vote SNP. Vote any other way. Don't care. Well, do. Vote for me. But don't vote SNP if you want to maintain Scotland and make it better. Thank you. Bye.